Welcome to Cup. We're back with game number 2 of Mirage versus Golden Guardians Academy. TJ, how you doing?
All. That is entirely Red Bull. That is all that is kept in that.
It
is all dubs, man.
30 minutes.
I'm doing great because I got something to show to chat. My clip reached Dylan, and I don't know if you could read that, but I'm in, boys. It's all dubs here
You're
tonight.
Just leaving me here. You just.
Yeah, you don't matter anymore. Sorry, man. Actually, you do for a moment longer because we got game 2 here between Mirage and Golden Guardians Academy. We are still going strong. Game 1 was all about the bottom lanes, all about the AD carries specifically, but the duo performance from Mirage of Meech and King, who has requested a name change, was game defining.
Yeah, King, of course, now known as Roy, but he'll always be our king.
You'll always be our king. Welcome to game 2. Let's talk draft. I want to see that Kai'Sa again. I desperately from Meech. I require that Kai'Sa again. Although we were talking, let me just double check to make sure I don't say this wrong. We were talking with Cubby, and he was saying that actually Meech does really well on Aphelios. I hope you didn't mention that on the desk, because otherwise I'll just be repeating it. But if we can see that Aphelios as an alternate option, I would also be really curious to see what a sick Aphelios looks like in this day and age.
Yeah, I mean, oh, there's a good response. Take away the Kai'Sa that won the last game.
Immediately for Golden Guardians, and to be fair, Prismal played that game very well as well. It was kind of, well, the dichotomy we set up from moment 1, which was that, yes, this Kai'Sa is, or sorry, this Prismal is playing really well, but they don't have the support that they frankly deserve for how much of a role they're playing in team fights. You could see the difference, especially in those later fights, between how Mirage coalesced and congealed to defend their AD carry. There it is.
There it is, TJ.
How Prismal was kind of left out to dry. We get Yami on the Lilia again as well. Mirage are going all the way.
I think I want to highlight how proud I am of Mirage for not falling to their usual tricks once they fell behind. That was the moment where initially I was like, that's it, that's game, that's over.
Yeah.
But instead of falling behind and tilting, they were just like, you know what, this is fine. We can pull this back in the later stage of the...
And we see it back. DNA gets his Syndra. Aphelios for their AD carry. This is actually exactly what they wanted. Sorry, Meech, I forgot your name for 30 seconds, but I'm good now.
You'll forget his name, but you'll never forget that performance.
Exactly.
It's going to be really exciting to see what this team can do, because that last game, we had nobody on a comfort pick. Maybe Hiami, because that Lilia was, I believe, first or second pick, somewhere in there, and has been picked up again in this game. So clearly that is something that they're comfortable on. But for DNA and for Meech, those were not their comfort picks, by far. So seeing them now on literally the champions we know them for is going to be really, really powerful.
The other one to watch out for, if it is all the way, is Dragoon is apparently a Darius one trick. And seeing Darius would be really sick, but it's been banned out twice so far.
Happened to BMD too, last season.
Yes, BMD, Darius is in the name. Didn't get to play any Darius ever. So, still scary enough. Let's talk about what Golden Guardians are drafting. It is worth noting, Rose Thorn, speaking of comfort picks, has Hecarim. This is what Rose Thorn was initially known for when they were that rising star, the solo queue hero that got drafted real quick into amateur and academy play. Rose Thorn, Elise, ganking junglers that would get out of jungle early and apply pressure. If there is a criticism of Rose Thorn's current form that maybe you can mitigate a little bit, it would be, well, they're not playing in the meta that gave birth to them. Rose Thorn is playing in a meta where junglers are encouraged to farm up and get fed and beat carries, and frankly, maybe they'd like to be back in the ganking days, and this Hecarim would give the tools to do exactly that.
Well, and especially I think it's important to note that next patch, that is going to be the meta again. They're removing a little bit of EXP from the jungle, and that will make ganking the meta again. But TJ, I think I know what you're about to point out. Oh, there we go. You see it? You see the mist ban?
Are you point? Oh, okay, I see it. Yes.
That is a straight up mist ban. We got producer confirmation.
We will get the picks instead. It is going to be Prismal locking in a Gragas and a Rel for Charm. Sorry. So we did get confirmation that is not a... You couldn't read my mind at all. You said you knew what I was going to point out. That was completely
As soon as it happened, you started going...
Yeah, but that was because I was excited about something. I was just twirling my pen. Anyway, it's apparently a Morgana ban right there. See, I can point to it, unlike you. You're on the wrong side. Sorry, Trundle in the Mirage side is apparently a Morgana. Well, what was the ban then?
No ban.
There was no ban. Missed it, Lord?
They missed the ban.
Okay.
We told you this. Lauren, back me up on this. We told him.
Lord. I'm not. Matt may be supporting you, but I'm not with you. Your complete draft then is going to be a Kai'Sa and a Rel in the bottom lane for Golden Guardians. You don't get much more meta than that. Hecarim for Rosethorn to fly out of the jungle, and the Azir and Gragas to close things out. On the opposite side, it will be Mirage with their Aphelios Morgana bottom lane. Now that's the engage you're looking for.
So, TJ, let's talk a little bit about like what we want to see going into this game number 2. Because Mirage, I feel like they very clearly the only point they really need to strengthen up and shore up to secure a win is their early game. Because they were doing fine and then slowly started just like backsliding very, very quickly and turned it around with some great fights. But that early game was definitely their shakiest point.
Yeah, and that's kind of consistent to what Golden Guardians are good at as well. Golden Guardians very consistently bang out pretty solid early games. You can see that even versus some of the better teams in Academy, they will, and they are currently one of the worst Academy teams, they will put out really solid-looking early games by just getting the early wins, locking down their lanes, winning the first few minutes pretty definitively, and then things fall apart in team fights. I would say, because they put too much emphasis in the wrong places, don't play towards their AD carries. But I'm not a coach, so that part is a little bit of conjecture.
Right. I was really happy with their gameplay that we did see, though, because a lot of their criticisms that we had going into the first game literally did not show up. One of them that did show up, I would like to point out, related to the early game, was that Mirage don't have really great risk calculations sometimes, where they're like, yeah, we can totally win this 2v3 over a blue buff. That's worth it. Whereas I think that's a consistency that needs to be shored up.
Yeah, and when it comes to Golden Guardians, you do also see them make macro and team fight mistakes, as we've been harping on, but they don't seem to come from miscalculations. It seems to come from just individual, what we here in amateur would call spotting an angle. Rosethorn's just run through the jungle and he sees 3 people and he's like, my team will follow me. I see a Rosethorn angle. And he full commits to a fight and then things go wrong.
That's the key, TJ. Every angle is a Rosethorn angle.
You're absolutely right. Welcome to Game 2, where Golden Guardians jungler will attempt to prove exactly that. Game number 1, of course, did go to Mirage. That's right, the amateur team. And Golden Guardians' first trip down here to the amateur leagues. Meech
in a little bit of trouble, does get stunned up and forced to flash. Great dark binding, though, following up there from Roy.
Roy able to do a lot of good work there. I'm 100% sure Meech dies if the dark binding doesn't land, and the dark binding should be up here again. Roy, he is overextended. Nobody is with him.
Run! Oh, flash engage from
Dive in.
That's Meech dead.
Yeah. Roy just baits him. Now Yami will try and clean this up, and I think they're going to have at least a 1-for-1 trade. Oh, that is worse than that. Prismal will find the turret again. Roy's gone as well. Rosethorn has arrived. Every angle is a Rosethorn angle, and DNA is about to fall to the calculus. That is a devastating 4-for-1 trade in the early game to Golden Guardians Academy.
That level 1 was signful, TJ. Rosethorn picking up a kill and 3 assists off the back of it. It really did just come from Roy. Is way too far up here.
Sign like cosine and sin and I get it.
Yeah, it was good.
It's mathematics.
Angle.
Check out this bait.
That was good.
5 each.
So he just dies, and then Hiami's like, don't worry, we've got this, no problem. And then is face first into Prismal's Kaisa, who then immediately destroys him with full stacks. Now DNA gets chased out, thinks they get away safely. Prismal flashes over the wall, another Acathian Rain, that's all she wrote. Now Rosethorn steals away the buff, at the very least going to get the 2 buffs. Not going to go for the vertical jungle, but I don't think Hiami can contest this. I don't think Hiami gets a blue buff in the early game. I think this is just a triple buff from Rosethorn. And then Chime again goes for this huge engage, finds tons of damage onto Roy because they know there's no Black Shield available.
Yeah. And this is when we were complaining about Roy maybe baiting a little bit, it was because Roy runs all the way up to the front lines and throws their Dark Binding. Right. There is no threat now. As Roy is running away, there is nothing on Mirage to stop Golden Guardians from engaging, and the Golden Guardians knew that. Now, they're back. They're double dipping. They've got the chips, and they're approaching the quesadilla map.
Looking for the dive. Meech is so low already. Prismal secures the kill. Roy getting dove again. One more hit from Rosethorn will do it. Beautiful turret aggro juggling, and this team looks completely different from game number 1, but boy howdy are they ahead in the early game again.
Yeah, a little bit of an angry Golden Guardians start. They didn't come all the way down here to amateur to lose games.
I don't think they're going to anymore, CJ. This is a really rough start for Mirage. 3-0-3 for Prismal. It is exactly 4 minutes on the dot. And that's at least a few thousand gold in kills and assists. Actually,
okay, well, we'll see if there can be anything back. Here is Hiami in the top side. What a good dodge from Tally.
Tally barely survives, but that's the goal of Agragas. That's all you really need to do. Just live. Find some CC later on. So, Meech, despite being on a comfort pick, just 0-2, TJ.
Meech, like you say, I think it was built up a little bit to me by Cubby. Cubby was like, oh, you can't wait to see his Aphelios.
Well,
I'm waiting.
Like, that was worth the wait. I feel like this game is delivering. We saw the Aphelios, and we saw the greatest level 1 we've seen so far in Cup.
You're right. Actually, to be fair, I've watched a decent amount of LCS this year. Not a whole lot of good level 1s in NA overall. So, I'm excited to...
I don't know if I'd call that good by any means, but yeah, it was fun.
Oh, it was pretty great as a viewing experience, Matt.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
We have this problem sometimes where you're still in, like, the LPL mindset, where you're trying to evaluate the efficacy of plays. Down here in Cup, it's all about the viewing experience.
See, the worst part is that the LPL did the exact stuff too. They go for these crazy level 1s. I'd be like, yeah, I'm in. I just expected a change.
What they do it, we believe. Well, what they do it, we believe they're doing it intentionally.
Oh, of course.
Rosethorn and Chime are setting up for a play here, but the play is red. Meech still walks forward into it,
my God.
thinking they're safe beneath the tower, and would that they were. Instantly gone. Hiami will take the front lines. Roy alongside, trying to make something happen, and they do. Dark Binding is very well played, but now Roy is gone. Chime finds a basically solo kill on Rel. You don't see that every day.
So that was a lot.
Alone in lane, by the way.
Yeah. On the hyperscaling carry Azir, yeah.
Oh, but don't worry. The 80 carry is there. It's a minor lane swap.
Okay. Sure. I can see that. We've seen Syndra as a bot carry before. You want to get Meech as much farm as possible, getting chained to bot. At the very least, give them a wave, give them time to catch up, and then rotate back down.
I think they want to get out of this. I think they want to swap back. It was just like a temporary, oh, we'll catch your waves thing. But it is so awkward to swap back because they're going to lose plates no matter what they do.
Yeah.
They're trying it now. It's worth noting Roy is up here.
Oh
Rosethorn.
Rosethorn, you're such a jerk. This is brutal. This is his blue buff now.
And he'll get it again. Rosethorn visiting REI, getting a great deal on tents. Tally will be pushed back here by Roy.
Doesn't even need the boots. He's not going anywhere.
Nope. Just take this mic and
Dark Binding from the level 3 Morgana. I love I love that they were like, you know what, our bot lane isn't doing great. Let's just use them both as secondary supports.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with the decision, but it's certainly interesting.
No, you're right. I was doing it there. I was my was the evaluation of the play, and I shouldn't have been doing that. It should have just been. Yeah, I love to see it, Matt. Drake will be picked up. Speaking of things you love to see, Golden Guardians continuing to compound their lead. We had a long one. This could be a real quick one. Turret will fall first of the game. Golden Guardians again building their bank account. That is now $16,000 to just 11K.
No, this game's not over yet. It's only 8 minutes in. That being said,
Really? Are you sure about that?
I try and be as positive as possible, TJ. You know me,
Okay.
personally. It's just my life goal. So I feel really bad for the analyst desk, Rafa and the lads. Because all they really have to say is, wow, that level 1 sure sucked, huh? It's like, that's the analysis.
Rafa and a lad, one of them, if you're listening to us. I want to see a diagram drawn over that level 1. I want to see you outline exactly where it went wrong. Super slow motion. That's the content you've got, and I want to see you work with it.
I'm not sure how to evaluate this because no one's interacted for a while from the 80 carries, but looking just purely at the scoreboard, Meech is down 40 CS.
Here's how you can evaluate it. You can figure out where Roy's been for the last couple of minutes, because the answer is not the bot lane. He's doing the solo queue thing that supports do, where sometimes you're like, oh, well, my 80 carry's screwed, so I'm just going to build, like, Abyssal Mask or something at Rome. But he's doing it on Morgana. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, of all the
Sorcerer's
playmaking
Shoes.
supports, that's one of them.
He's 100% just doing it.
We're stuck damning with faint praise. I'm so sorry, everyone, but this is just a rough game for Mirage. This is bad. I don't know how else to put it. It's
Killer
just a
Instinct
really
in.
bad game.
An attempt to make something happen here from Golden Guardians. That was actually very overzealous, and they could pay for it. DNA is TP'd in from the other lane.
No,
But
they don't pay
could
for
was
it,
the
TJ.
operative word.
They don't. They can't keep getting away with this.
It was one of those. Like community shops where it says, you know, payment optional, and everyone knows that you're supposed to pay them, but you don't.
Fighting and engaged there onto Durfor. Hiami finally finds a kill, answered back there for Mirage, but Roy in a whole lot of trouble. Ignited, running away with it still ticking, and Golden Guardians decide they don't want to. Meech doesn't do anything!
Get him!
He doesn't do any damage!
Hurt him! Hit him with the... I'm checking my notes here and it says water gun? Is that one of the Aphelios guns?
It is now, TJ!
They hit him with the super soaker. Mildly inconvenient.
They're gonna switch over to the Nerf next.
Oh, Joe's checking.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks for Joe running through the guns real quick. Tallywhacker's gonna have to change his shirt after that engagement down in the bot lane. In the meantime, top lane turret did get picked up. Golden Guardians continuing to compound a devastating lead. You're right, it does look dry, John.
He's clapping his hands. He's wiping his hands of this whole game because he knows he doesn't need to do anything. Literally, this game just like ends if Mirage aren't finding plays, and they sure aren't right now, TJ.
Okay, let me raise an alternate though.
Okay.
It also doesn't end if Golden Guardians don't end the game. And that was kind of what I
It's like technically true.
Because remember, Golden Guardians are a team that this Golden Guardians Academy team is a roster that famously has been flubbing their mid-game team fights. So there is still room for them to really mess this up. They could pull a CLG on us, you know?
That's like saying a smart car is really spacious.
They could
TJ.
pull a C9 Academy or a C9 Amateur on us. I'm just saying, between CLG, C9 Amateur, we have had a run of games where exactly that happens.
Okay, sure. I will grant you this. But I feel like at this point it's pretty easy to play this one out.
It's only a 6,000 gold lead.
I don't believe TJ.
6,000 gold. I mean, that could go away in an instant.
They invested it all in the stock market. It went away.
Yeah, they put it on GameStop. See, Rift Herald doesn't get anything. It's actually kind of disastrous for Golden Guardians. I don't know why Rosethorn summoned the Rift Herald at the only place where Mirage could auto-attack it, but he did.
Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe they can lose the game if they just keep doing that kind of thing.
It was literally the only place where Mirage had access to that Rift Herald.
Oh my god!
Kiami just randomly stumbles into Tally in the jungle. They'll get that kill. It's happening, Matt. It's happening.
No! Oh god. Oh. This is okay. So what's happening here? Prismo gets a solo kill, whatever. What's happening here is what happens to every team, especially in solo queue, where you get ahead and you're like, this game is so in the bag, I cannot begin to express the ways in which this game is contained wholly, not partially, by this bag.
By this tote bag, because they're out to the supermarket.
But there's a hole in the bag and they're not checking the bottom.
Yeah, the
So
Brussels sprouts
they're slowly losing the game.
One
They don't need a
Brussels
lot.
sprout
They
at
just
a
need
time.
like some tape over the bottom. But
And they're just rolling out of the bag, and then there's Brussels sprouts on the floor, and all your groceries.
where they belong.
Okay, steamed Brussels sprouts.
Never had them.
Whoa, see, this is the problem. Everyone just like has Brussels sprouts, but you can make Brussels sprouts like crispy on the outside and chewy on the inside. You can put some salt, some vinegar on them. Brussels sprouts are great. Everyone who believes otherwise is a victim of propaganda.
I don't think Mirage are, though. We've been kind of propagandizing them this game. Saying they're doomed. But, I'm still not sure that's propaganda. I think that might just be good analysis. We might just be brilliant, TJ.
Yeah, there still is a 6,000+ gold lead.
Yeah. This is
and-
doomed is what we would normally say, but this is Challengers Uprising. Anything can happen.
His cup, baby, and here, the cup is always half full.
I fear we're getting to
Of
that
Red
point,
Bull.
though, where commentators get where it's just like a complete shutdown. There's only one turret left, and it's like, they can still turn it. Technically, the stocks can go back up, TJ, if we just keep holding.
Oh, full dive. Onslaught of Shadows is eaten alive. Prismal, though, what is that damage? Prismal gets a double kill in the blink of an eye, and the rest of Golden Guardians will follow through. Guard this, says Prismal, pressing the R key and finding everything he needs.
Don't worry, guys, the squeeze hasn't squozed, they say, as their bank account goes into the negative.
Diamond hard hands. Here it is. Check this out. So Rosethorn really kind of mucks this up. This could have been bad because there was nobody nearby. But Prismal just goes, I can 1v3 at my current game state, and that's really all you need.
He's just like playing this fine, but with the 3 damage they have in their pocket, it doesn't really do anything. Yumbi comes in with the Shurima Shuffle and just one-shots them. And this is where we kind of get to see what Golden Guardians are capable of. I'm reframing it. I don't...
Ooh! Did you see that seed dodge?
Yeah. Tally's clean. We know this, though. TJ.
Politician at a hearing. Dodge that.
Yeah, how does Facebook make money? We just make money.
Mark Zuckerberg in front of Congress. Dodge that. It's going to be a Rift Herald. Ooh, stolen by Yami.
It's the tiny victories. We may be losing the game, but we got the red buff. DNA should just be dead. Good Magnet
He's
Storm
just
there.
dead.
The chime kill. That's how you know it's over.
And this should be game 3. I feel like that's maybe the silver lining. Like, sure, this game did end real quickly. That is, like, it is entirely resting on Prismal. The distance, the gap that Prismal built off of that early game is what has ended this game. So, I'm not sure we can fairly say Golden Guardians have solved what lost them game number 1. I think that this game 3 may still be in the bag for Mirage.
I think what we have to do, though, from here is just look at how they close out the game. Look at how well they're able to push their leads, push their advantages.
I mean, let's separate it. Obviously, game 2 is all about can Golden Guardians actually close a game. We don't really have a whole lot of data for that because they're losing a lot of games. On the Mirage side, I think coming into Game 3, it is, can Mirage survive the early game? We do have a lot of data that says Golden Guardians Academy quite consistently get good early games.
Tally versus Hiami again. This time goes a lot better for Tally.
Place your bets.
But yeah, the Golden Guardians early game is a constant that Mirage have yet to solve. But in the meantime, they're just gonna suffer, because it was not just a bad early game; it was disastrous. And I feel like we are beating a dead Rose Thorn at this point. So Dragon's gonna be up. There's probably not gonna be a fight around it. So TJ, what have you been up to? I've been reading Honor Harrington finally.
That's good. That's like a. It's not good, actually. It's a mediocre
like the worst book.
sci-fi series.
It's like good. So,
yeah.
To anyone at home, TJ recommended me a book called Honor Harrington on Basilisk Station. And it's like a military sci-fi detective book. It's the best way I can describe the genre.
He was like, oh, I really enjoyed the Grand Admiral Thrawn Star Wars books. Is there anything like that? And I was like, yeah, there is more mediocre military sci-fi out there. It's good.
Yeah, it was written in 1993, and boy, it shows. But you know what? If you're looking for some decent military sci-fi writing, you could do worse, because it's free. That's the important part that we've left out.
The Bane Free Library. They're a sci-fi publisher, and a lot of their older books are available for free in ebook format. So if you're looking for something to do during quarantine,
or the second game of Golden Guardians versus Mirage,
or this, something to read during the second game of Golden Guardians versus Mirage, look up the Bane Free Library. As we are headed towards Game 3, it is increasingly apparent the Rift Herald has been scooped up alongside the Drake. And here goes the Rift Herald onto the inhibitor turrets. Chime, deep in.
Huge engage as well from Rosethorn, able to find the fear onto the backline. Prismal in a lot of trouble, though. DNA not able to find the assassination just yet. Prismal still alive in the backside, will be able to find the assassination with the Collector. Still lives! Prismal somehow survives that entire engage. There has never been a more important signifier that the game is over. But they're just leaving. What? There are two people up!
They probably
kill them!
Why is Roy chasing? Okay, anyway. I don't know why Roy's chasing this. They're just going to realize they can kill Roy. Oh, can they? The ult! He gets the trade, Matt! 1 for 1, baby! It's shutdown gold!
Woo! Let's go, Roy! Yeah!
Oh, I thought we were going to replay the Roy kill, but all right.
That was the important team fight.
So this is like the inverse of that last team fight from last game where Mirage did like a really good job of protecting their AD carry. Nobody is protecting Prismal here. He has no support whatsoever. There is so much focus onto him, and yet he still survives.
With like no lifesteal either. That's the worst part. The lifesteal is just coming from passive runes at this point. No itemization or anything. And this will be the 3-item Kaisa with the double evolve, so this should just be like straight up the game from here. But I said that literally a minute ago, and Golden Guardians chose not to end, I guess playing it as safe as they can. Which is fair, you have enough of a lead that it's near insurmountable. But the longer this game goes, the less 10k matters.
I can tell you what tea I'm drinking. Oh no, maybe the lamp. Hiami in trouble here. Chime will go over the wall, chase Hiami down. Hiami escapes.
About that tea, TJ.
So it is, I won't say the brand name. It's Cup. I can probably get away with saying the brand name. It's not as good as Red Bull, but it is traditional medicinal tea. And it is good for your throat. That's what you're looking for. And on the back of every tea bag, they have a little literature quote. This one says, oh, I'll hold this. Baron fight. Prismal round the front. Baron will be picked up by Golden Guardians. The fight should be clean. Chime will chase Dragoon, DNA, and Meech down. There's a TP in here. What is this? Yunbi arrives! That is all you need.
Karima shuffle into the back. There goes Dragoon at the hands of Prismal. Hiami trying to take down Hyunbi, who I'm pretty sure just died to red buff. Like, I know the kill credit was Hiami, but red buff got that kill. I'm 90% sure.
Producer Joe, can we get a replay?
Tally's going to try and find this kill into Hiami, who has so much move speed. It'll happen eventually.
They don't have a wave in bottom, so despite having Baron, this is not going to be the game. It's going to take a bit longer. So
Hiami's just running. Hiami's still alive.
Oh, he's going to get that.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Love the combo.
Oh, dodges the seed.
Oh,
Into stasis!
oh, Tally's so
Beats him into the
good.
turret! The 1v1!
Anyways, there's like an
In the meantime, Prismal is just still detonating people. That's going to be another kill over, another inhibitor over. And now Rosethorn's on the flank. This ought to be game. Chime will set up the stun. Dragoon's in trouble. Chime does go down. And Prismal's walking away. He's already left, man.
Golden Guardians. Oh, you hurt me so. So anyways, this fight was essentially just Prismal doing Prismal things, never threatened the entire time. Chime doing a great job zoning at the south side of the fight. That's really all you need to do. Just zone for Prismal, and he will win you fights.
And then this.
And then this sick Shurima shuffle out of the TP. And then, okay, here's the red buff. This is what we need to watch. No, it wasn't the red buff auto. It was just the burn from... That's so much less fun.
That is a tragedy.
That's
red
so
buff
much less
KD,
fun.
like 0 and 6.
I know. What a feeder.
Report.
So this is
Mirage.
Soul, which would really be the nail in the coffin. Golden Guardians can finally end if they get this one. This time for real, guys.
Rosethorn over the wall is setting up for maybe a flank.
Time.
Shadows into nothing, but it's a huge setup. And Prismal can follow through. That's the damage you need. And it should be the final clean fight. Finally, as a TP comes through, Golden Guardians will pick up the game, and what we have been saying from the 3-minute mark will be locked in. Golden Guardians Academy win game number 2 in dominant fashion after a terrifying level 1. And we are going all the way to a contentious game 3 in this series.
I'm looking forward to it, especially after that early game level 2. We know that Golden Guardians is here to play. It was a completely different look from level 1, and admittedly, it's really fortuitous that they ended up just catching 3 people randomly. Rosethorn eating a fountain laser just because he can. So that will finally be the victory going over to Golden Guardians, tying up the series 1-1.
Very unsanitary water fountains. This was game ending. Rosethorn kind of flubbed the ulti, but Chime just walks in, drops the ultimate, and Prismal will walk in, press Q, and go, oh, I've done it again.
Just nasty every single time. The AoE to follow up.
Tell me what Prismal is stasising here.
Bad vibes.
Like what? It's here. What?
I mean, that kind of makes sense. The last auto's on the way. You know you're going to get the kill. Might as well get the golden style.
I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just...
No, well, you kind of get the sick surfer pose, you know? Oh, look at that.
Did he do that as the game was ending? That's tragic.
Looks like it.
All right. Thank you very much, Joe, for our tour of the map. And that was our tour of Game 2, which was, again, over really quick. That I don't think should reflect on Mirage. I think we do need to, like... We had a lot of fun with that game. We recognized it was over pretty quickly. But that wasn't the case that, oh, the game was over because Golden Guardians were that much better than Mirage. They just won a devastating team fight at the beginning of the game and pretty much ended it there.
Yeah, I think, again, the early game for Mirage is something to watch out for, regardless of this game. This game was definitely an extreme example, but that was how they nearly lost game number 1. So going forward, they need to tighten that up. Don't take any risky level 1s, just 5-point it.
Yeah, I want to see Mirage survive the early game, and then things get interesting. Because Golden Guardians have dropped a game here in the first round of Challengers Uprising, and I can't wait to see what happens as we head to Game 3. You won't want to miss it. We'll be right back.